Hey everyone, if you're excited like me that Star Wars Rogue One is finally coming out tonight, so in this top 5 video I'm going to go over my top 5 Star Wars games. And at number 5, it's going to be Star Wars Dark Forces. Originally came out back in 1995. This game is an oldie, but definitely a goodie, following our favorite mercenary, Kyle Katarn, being employed by the Rebel Alliance, going on a variety of missions, including taking on the Dark Stormtroopers. Now with this was basically like Doom meets Star Wars. The Doom first-person shooter gameplay we all know and love with the Star Wars universe that we all know and love. It was a match made in heaven. While there were no lightsaber, moments in the game, it definitely, you had tons of fun shooting, variety of enemies in it. Now with this, it did get ported onto later on like the PlayStation and all the other consoles and stuff. It is definitely a goodie. I recommend playing this because, Kyle Katarn, you got to see his beginning elements working as a mercenary with the Rebel Alliance, and then eventually, just becoming the man who he is, and, later on in the expanded universe, the story of the Jedi Knight games, at all. But please, do not miss this game. And at number 4, we have Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. Originally came out back in 2001 on the GameCube by Factor 5. This was definitely have to be one of the best flight combat games around. Now, with this, a sequel to the N64 game itself, you take on the role as either Luke Skywalker or Wedge, taking on a variety of missions based in the original Star Wars trilogy. Everything from A New Hope to The Empire Strikes Back, and then finally Return of the Jedi. With the variety of missions, you could also fly a variety of spacecraft, including the most iconic ones like the X-Wing, to some other ones as well that we all know and love. Now with this was definitely a really good flight combat game. It was a really, really good back in the day for the GameCube. Like, it had it going on basically, and it was exclusively for the GameCube as well. Now also you have to remember that Factor 5, this was back in their heyday where they were making really good games, and even though the PC had the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing series, they definitely made a great entrance with this one on the consoles. Now at number 3, it's going to be Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Originally came out in 2008 on the Xbox 360, PS3, and a variety of other systems as well. Now the plotline for this is, it takes place in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, where Darth Vader takes on a secret apprentice that Palpatine doesn't even know about to send him on a variety of secret missions for the Empire. With this, he is being sent on a mission to destroy the Rebel Alliance, but ends up inadvertently creating and organizing it to what it is today. With this, you're sent on a variety of missions, but the one appeal about this game is using force powers and abilities, including your lightsaber. Nothing feels better than mowing down wave after wave of stormtroopers with your lightsaber, then ultimately using your force powers to either push them, hold them, and force grip them, and everything. With this, the story was actually pretty good, and it kept me on the edge of my seat right up until the very end, and I thought, wow, how can they top this game? With this, it should not be missed, and it's definitely a really good storyline to follow. So, and at number 2, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Originally came out back in 2005 for the PC, Xbox, PS2, and PlayStation Portable even. The game was basically a multiplayer Star Wars fan's wet dream, where you and your friends could take part in some of the most iconic Star Wars battles, not only in the Clone Wars era, but also the Galactic Civil War. There was a plethora of maps to play on with different certain classes, including you can have the ability to play as Imperial officers, the Dark Trooper, and some other stuff as well, and heroes. With this, there was also a variety of game modes to play, and they added on to the original, including adding space battles and the ability to go into other, enemy starships and destroy it from the inside. There was also really cool and interesting, decent plot going with the campaign, as set as an autobiography from a veteran clone trooper on his counts being in the 501st, which, to any Star Wars fan is like, holy crap! With this was definitely a great Star Wars Battlefront game. Battlefront 2, to me personally, is a lot better than the Battlefront game they released back in 2015. And at number 1, it's going to be Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Originally came out back in 2003. Developed by BioWare, this has to be, to me personally, one of the best Star Wars games around, and one of the best role-playing games ever. Now, story-wise, it takes place 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, where you play as an unnamed character, which you do have a lot of choices in this RPG, including being a male or female, as you wake aboard a Republic ship getting attacked by Malix and his forces. Now with this, you go on a crazy adventure, picking up a variety of crew members trying to take out Malak and understand what is really going on, especially with Darth Revan's story. Now this has to be one of the also most important games in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, but everything in this game, the RPG elements, the Star Wars setting, and the characters, it worked. It was definitely one of the best games, and is being currently remade by fans because of how good it is. Now with this, it is basically your D&D Star Wars nerd's wet dream. And that's it for my top 5 Star Wars games. Now, I know some of you may understand that. You'd be like, well, what about the other games here, Panda? You forgot the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter series. Let's not forget Star Wars Galaxies. That was a really good MMO. And then, you got the Jedi Academy games, too. It was a top 5 list, and it was my personal choosing, guys. But still, there were a lot of other tons and great Star Wars games around. But this was definitely a hard one to do. Now, in a few hours, I got to go get ready to watch Rogue One in theaters. With that, though, I'll leave you with this. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Geeky Man here. I'm out. Stay geeky, my friends.